TK, you're in Scotland now.
If you need to choose a new pharmacy, Kinney Drugs hopes you'll choose us. We're an employee.
The motherfuckers are playing the Kinney's commercial.
Since 1903, and we've made it as easy as 1, 2, 3 to transfer your prescriptions. Get started at KinneyDrugs.com.
Here's a brief message from industry. This ad is brought
Which
to you
a company
by GSK.
started in Governor.
hcp-myelofibrosis-treatment.com to explore data and resources. That's hcp-myelofibrosis-treatment.com. Thanks for listening to the message from industry.
Tree trimmer would have made it a difficult situation. So fortunately, had that tool, was able to cut him down. He kind of fluttered to the ground. We were able to get him contained and get him off to rehab. So it's a great story. Fantastic end to it.
Checking your money, the Dow closed down 422 points today. The NASDAQ off 188. Traffic and weather next.
When you get hurt at work, Carruthers and Clough goes to work for you. They're researching, interviewing, gathering facts, and doing all they can to help you get back on your feet. They work and you recover.
See,
focus on getting healthy and
Google,
because Carruthers and Clough
they target you.
Work for you. Ask a friend.
Carruthers and Clough,
They call for help.
that's they're attorneys in Ogdensburg.
To nylawcc.com and contact Carruthers and Clough. We work.
So they fucking target commercials directly from my area.
But if you need to do so,
They do that to everybody. Like StreamYard. Them motherfuckers, they should have contacted. They could see I wasn't using that account since fucking December. I couldn't fucking recover the motherfucker, and then they want to charge me. Motherfuckers.
The people we serve. And we've made it easy as 1, 2, 3 to transfer your prescription.
Sneaky little bastards.
KinneyDrugs.com or stop by today.
Illuminating the issues.
There's a whole lot missing.
I was thinking about fucking buying StreamYard. Then I could just stay live 24 hours a day and not have to worry about managing hours. But it was recommended that I do the fucking 20-hour and that. So I don't need to be like you, JC. I ain't in competition with you or Wiggins.
Lower rates on personal loans.
But then again, maybe I am.
1 day sooner. You'll even get a free green light.
I'm peeking in your chat, JC. I see NEM wants to fucking talk Trump. You fucking just stay in your own neighborhood. We're going to talk about Trump tonight.
Conditions and restrictions apply. Member FDIC.
Here's Michelle Murray in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Crash activity in the district on DC.
Like how NEM thinks he matters in America.
Caused very slow traffic from the 11th Street.
What do you got? You got the few people like JC who listen to you. Other than that, you're a dumb fucker now. You're worse than fucking Patrick Rowe, and he's an American.
And 198 eastbound between 4th Street and Washington Boulevard. In Calverton, traffic is slow southbound on 95 between the Intercounty Connector and the Beltway. And the Beltway is still slow on the outer loop from the spur to the GW Parkway. And from
Ross the 2, SA, Jabba the Huttful. Fuck you, JC.
Sky high humidity today. We'll see rain.
Chris
taper
Cullen,
off as we head
28.
through the afternoon.
Yeah, he doesn't use his
Tomorrow,
name. They can't be themselves.
Evening, damaging wind gusts and flash flooding possible. Tomorrow, the hottest day of the week as we get up to 94. I'm 7 News meteorologist Eileen Whalen.
Right now, 93 in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis on WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Mark Levin.
Hello, America. Mark Levin.
It's hot out.
Number
I splashed myself.
877
Had to cool down. It's fucking hot out.
You know. Hope you had a good weekend.
Anyways, the news is
Houston,
on.
Texas is so horrific. This flooding, these little kids at camp, other obviously adults too. Camp counselors not older than 16, 17 years old. The camp director trying to save lives and he dies. Other people trying to save lives and they die. And
Wow.
not just the camp, people in the community. The flooding is really, it's shocking. You know, for those of us who don't live in and around these flood zones, absolutely shocking. But I tell you what, I've grown to really have nothing but contempt for politicians, most of them, and the media. I really have. I mean, the fear of them. Mother or father, grandfather, grandmother. You think about your kids and you think about situations like that. You'd give your life to save your child. You would, or your grandchild. And people did. And they're still looking for people, and they're still looking for bodies. We're at 91 dead. That's a ton of people. With a score or so still missing. Some of them they can't identify. Well, they have found. And if you're like me, and I think most of you are, you're wondering, what were these people thinking when they went under and they figured they couldn't come back up? What a horrendous way to go. Or their bodies slammed into trees or God knows what. Now, the media jump right in. Who's to blame? And of course, it's Trump. And it's the cuts, quote unquote. It's climate change. The left never gives up. They just don't abandon this stuff. It doesn't matter how many die. It doesn't matter the circumstances. It's like the open borders with God knows how many women have been raped, sold into sex slavery, little kids, 325,000. They just keep at it. I've got a thing here from Axios where the Democrat Party base is demanding violence from Democrats. Do whatever you have to do. This is
Axios is a piece of shit
of civil
website.
society.
Every morning at
Order,
6
rule of
o'clock,
law.
they're on fucking MSNBC,
We've been
fucking
living through
chanting
this year
their
after
crap.
year, day after day, with these politicians defund the
Joe
police. The police are
Scarborough, what a
racist, and just
scumbag.
this constant drumbeat. And it has an impact on a society. And the people who are beating the drums are in the media. They have these political platforms. It just boggles the mind to see this kind of tragedy and then to hear how some respond. It's like they just don't give a damn. They say they do, but they obviously don't. Power hungry. That's all it is. They're power hungry. Looking for an opportunity. Here's Joaquin Castro. He's a Democrat. He's from the San Antonio area. This is not that far from San Antonio. He's on with Dana Bash. Dana Bash is a louse. This whole CNN crew and MSNBC crew, the whole damn bunch of them. And they're not alone.
Nothing but a bed
They
bug.
have ice water running through their veins. They're cold as cold can be.
Or a crab
Cut
on your
through
body.
How much do you think the changing climate is part of what we are seeing go on here? Not just what we're seeing in the pictures that we're showing on the screen, but even the flood that you talked about in San Antonio
No,
in June.
she's a complete ignoramus because this is an area that floods a lot. Maybe not to this extent. They talked about 40 years ago or so, but climate change, hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, heat waves, cold wave, climate change. She goes right to the talking points. Did we just spend trillions of dollars on climate change? What did that get us exactly? Nothing. It lined the pockets of left-wing organizations and left-wing politicians pretending they're running organizations. Where'd all that money go? Created massive inflation, massive debt, climate change. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I think climate change is obviously a part of it.
Of course.
These floods are happening more often in more parts of the country and really all over
Stop
the
the
world.
cows from
And
farting.
so we have to face that reality and be better prepared for it and combat it.
First of all, we don't know that that's true at all. I don't know that that's true at all. But even if that is true, it's not climate change. Here's Betsy Klein, a reporter on CNN today. Cut 4, go.
As we track the federal response to this flooding in its third day of recovery efforts, there are a couple of important questions to follow here. And number one is the National Weather Service. This is the agency that is responsible for the country's weather forecasting. They issued a series of alerts on Friday in those very early hours, saying there is going to be life-threatening flooding. Now, it's unclear how many people they were able to reach with those warnings. We heard in that news conference that there are some people that didn't even have cell service where they were, who were impacted. It's also the middle of the night. What's also unclear is whether cuts to this agency impacted how those warnings were disseminated.
Cuts to the agency. First of all, just as a logical matter, didn't she just say they gave out early warnings, Mr. Producer? So how it cuts to the agency have anything
That's why
to
I'm
do?
scratching my head.
Look, whoever's responsible, if anybody, it should be dealt with. I suspect people per se are not that responsible for it. I heard the lieutenant governor talking about a siren system they had thought about, but they didn't put in place. Okay, they will look back on those things. But cuts to the agency. So Betsy Klein, which cuts to the agency are you talking about? Which cuts to the? I mean, this is it. We got Schumer here. Reuters. Schumer wants probe of National Weather Service response in Texas.
Hair somewhere.
He asked a government watchdog to investigate whether cuts at the National Weather Service affected the forecasting agency's response to catastrophic and deadly flooding in central Texas. He asked the Department of Commerce's acting inspector general to probe whether staffing vacancies at the National Weather Service, San Antonio, contributed to delays, gaps, or diminished accuracy. So he's not interested in anything but trying to pin in something like this on cuts, because you're not allowed to cut anything. You're not allowed to reduce anything, period. Okay. Well, over at Right Scoop, our friend Brian, New York Times blames disastrous flooding in Texas on Doge cuts, debunked. And I have to sit here and deal with this. I have to sit here and deal with this when people are mourning, when they don't even announce, well, they have the names of these people. It's horrendous what's taking place. Sit here and deal with this. The Associated Press, of all entities, destroyed the idea this was because of staffing. They said the National Weather Service office in New Braunfels, which delivers forecasts for Austin, San Antonio, and the surrounding areas, had extra staff on duty during the storms. Extra staff on duty. Where the office would typically have 2 forecasters on duty during clear weather, they had up to 5 on the staff. There were extra people in here that night, and that's typical in every weather service office. You staff up for an event and bring people in overtime and hold people over, said Runyon. National Weather Service did its job with warnings at least 12 hours before the devastating floods, according to meteorologist Chris Martz on X, Twitter. He says, okay, let's talk some facts. The Camp Mystic flood disaster in Texas is very unfortunate, and I hope all of the missing girls are found. The usual suspects are exploiting this tragedy to score political brownie points. Some left-wing activists are blaming this flood on climate change. Yeah, like the host on CNN. Others are blaming the deaths and missing persons on inadequate warning caused by low staffing at the National Weather Service, caused by Trump administration federal reductions in force. First of all, staff cuts played no part in this tragedy. National Weather Service issued a flood watch for Kirk County more than 12 hours ahead of the flood. They also issued a flash flood warning for Hunt and Ingram 3 hours after the Guadalupe River began to climb. There's plenty of lead time with respect to the forecast and the issuance of warnings, writes this person. The flood was caused by the remnants of Tropical Storm Barry becoming embedded in a broad mid-level trough over central Texas. These remnant lows are typically slow-moving, drop heavy rain over a large geographical area where the troposphere destabilizes. This particular one stayed fairly stationary and caused massive flooding along the Guadalupe River, something that has happened many times before. In 1987, flash flood on the same river killed 10 teenage campers from the Pot Oak Old Christian camp, with another 33 swept away, but they survived. Why is it that this guy can find this out, but CNN can't? Camp Mystic is built on a floodplain. It is on sediment that has been deposited by hundreds, if not thousands, of floods over the last millennium. The event has nothing to do with climate change. The tragedy had nothing to do with Doge cuts. If you're someone who has exploited this catastrophe because you just don't like Trump, you need to take a serious look in the mirror. It's meteorologist Chris Martz. And so here we have a debate prior to all the bodies being found, and perhaps some survivors as well. And of course, nothing escapes racism. Nothing. You have this woman, Sadie Perkins, ex-Houston appointee, on TikTok this week. Let me tell you something. The internet is breeding evil. And TikTok is the main culprit. And I don't know what's happening with TikTok, but that damn thing needs to be sold now, and it needs to be cleaned up. And I don't want to hear about free speech and everything else. It's a private company. The company needs to clean it up, because this is crazy. Between the communist Chinese and all the crap that people put on this stuff. And honestly, X, that is Twitter, Facebook, they need to be cleaned up too. I think people who call me kike over and over again on the internet should be removed. Don't you, Mr. Producer? Or worse. So here's this Sadie Perkins, cut 22, go.
I know I'm probably going to get canceled for this, but Camp Mystic is a whites-only girls' Christian camp. They don't even have a token Asian. They don't have a token black person. It is a all white only, conservative Christian camp. If you ain't white, you ain't right, you ain't getting in, you ain't going, period. And I think that context needs to be said in this matter. It's not to say that we don't want the girls to be found, whatever girls that are missing or whatever right now, but you best believe, especially in today's political climate, if this were a group of Hispanic girls, especially with them being in East Texas, it should be most likely Hispanic. If this were a group of Hispanic girls out there, this would not be getting this type of coverage that they're getting.
Yes, it
No one
would.
give a fuck.
It would be getting exactly the type of coverage it deserves, and it would. Who the hell do they think been talking about all these women sold into sex slavery? Me. Most of them are Hispanics. You don't hear about it on the left-wing sites, do you? I'm just so sick of this. I'm sick of thugs like this. Sick of it. Cut 23, go.
And y'all are over here just spread.
Y'all over here.
Or whatever, but baby, I
Y'all over here.
You moron. You're disgusting. You disgusting. Don't give me this baby crap either. Doesn't matter what race you are. You'll always be a lowlife. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Well, July is here, and that means it's time to celebrate the greatest nation on the face of the earth, the United States of America. Let me tell you something. Birthdays aren't just about fireworks and barbecues. The greatest gift we can give this country right now is to stand up and defend her. That's exactly why AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, exists. AMAC fights every single day to protect the foundational values that built this nation. And in honor of America's birthday, they've got an incredible offer. 5 full years of membership. Hey, stay with me. 5 full years of membership with the Association of Mature American Citizens for $35. That's right. 5 years of standing with patriots, receiving their outstanding.
I turn that down, fucking blaring right in my ear.
And discounts and being part of a national.
I have a way of tuning things out and tuning in. Spunky.
Grab it. Go to amac.us/Levin right now. amac.us/LEVIN.
Perfect.
Let's give America the gift of more.
It could be better, but it could be worse.
In the district, there is a crash on DC 295 southbound up to Benning Road, causing extremely slow traffic from Burroughs Avenue. Also very heavy.
I have a good reason why I don't bank online. One time I used my fucking bank card to pay for the StreamYard, and the motherfuckers want to charge me again. Without giving me, I can't even recover the account. I can't even go to the account to fucking unsubscribe to the fucking StreamYard.
From the inner loop to go onto River Road, that is exit 30.
So now I'm waiting for the money to be put back in the bank. $431 for a year subscription for what I was using. I have a few accounts where they're 20 hours each. And I just fucking spread them apart.
We've been taking care of our local news since 1903 when Bert Kinney opened our first store in Governor, New York.
And I've been thinking about buying it, but I was going to wait till the end of summer and be going into winter when everybody's really inside, and you know, where if I want to stay live and just leave it up, I ain't got to worry about it. I can just leave it up instead of, 20-hour free time. That's more like pick and choose. Fuck, I only need to go live an hour, 1 hour a night, one night a week. I go live and I drive them nuts. The Queen T, she trying to lock me up, is she? She don't dare come in here. Fucking Agent 8. Fuck you, Queen T, you bitch. You can't do shit. The shit they do on TikTok, and you worried about some young woman stopping here and visiting Billy. I still have it. That's right. That girl trusted me. Still does. Doesn't mean we're swapping spit, you dumb fuckers. little creepy fucking 63-year-old want, making sexual passes at somebody like that. Besides that, girls are the one that fucking say yes anyways. They touch the man first, normally. If a girl's touching you, that means she wants you.
Open an account with Community Bank and get the features that work for you, including higher rates on CDs, lower rates on personal loans.
I suffer the consequences of my actions. Yeah, that was her dad that came in my chat. Pretty sure it was him. We didn't respect the dad. I gave him respect, even though he wants to knock my teeth out.
Nuclear is also the largest source of clean energy in America.
The majority of Americans support clean nuclear energy. You can get loud about it.
You're crying like the bitch you are. Why are you crying? Nothing nice to say? Come you ain't got nothing nice to say about Billy. I mean, come on. What the fuck? Yeah. If that were your daughter, you'd be thankful I treated her nicely. Most of the guys wouldn't treat her like that.
There's still a need to help place new bomb
right.
shelters across Israel, along with first responder flak jackets and armored emergency vehicles.
I don't mess with people's minds if they're impressionable.
To learn more about the International
Wiggin
Fellowship
does,
of
though.
Christians and Jews life-saving work, please visit levinfellowship.org. That's LEVIN for the fellowship.org.
Hey, Wiggin, your son's in the concave business, trafficking. That's a Class A felony, at least where I live. It's a controlled substance. Cocaine has no medical use. That's why it's legal or illegal.
We're going to piggyback on the Fox link. The Community Foundation will direct funds to vetted organizations providing rescue, relief, and recovery efforts, as well as food assistance. They are in desperate need of funds. If you can help them, please do. And we have the link provided right there on all of our platforms. It's go.fox/TX flood relief. Go.fox/TX for Texas, TX flood.
This is Fox Radio.
Relief. Anything you can do will be much appreciated. Obviously, it's tax deductible. But anything you can do, or as much as you can do, because people are in desperate need. We'll be right back.
WMAL.
You know, Americans love using their credit cards, one of the most secure and hassle-free ways to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com, guardyourcard.com, paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 6:30.
She almost said 8:30.
Breaking this hour, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser signs emergency legislation into law expanding the summer youth curfew after a weekend where dozens of teens were charged for allegedly shooting off illegal fireworks and causing chaos at the Navy Yard. The chief will have it among her tools. The curfew goes into effect at 11 p.m. citywide this month and next. The law also gives the police chief the ability to create areas where it will start at 8. Meanwhile, police continued to search for a person who shot and critically injured a 15-year-old in the Navy Yard on Friday night. More than 104 people are now confirmed dead from catastrophic flooding in Texas over the weekend, including 27 little girls and counselors from Camp Mystic. Senator Ted Cruz.
It's every parent's nightmare.
One family lost twin 8-year-old sisters. Hundreds of people continue searching through mud and debris for those who remain missing. Traffic and weather next.
If you need to choose a new pharmacy, Kinney Drugs hopes you'll choose us. We're an employee-owned company that's been taking care of our community since 1903, and we've made it as easy as 1, 2, 3 to transfer your prescriptions. Get started at KinneyDrugs.com.
Here's Michelle Murray in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Still some slowdowns on the inner loop of the Beltway from the Legion Bridge to the 270 spur, and on the inner loop at the off-ramp to River Road. That store remains closed due to accident activity. More delays on the inner loop on and off through College Park from 95 all the way to Route 50. And the outer loop is slow from the Leesburg Pike to the Little River Turnpike and from the Springfield Interchange to the Wilson Bridge. In the district, there is still the accident on DC 295 southbound after Benning Road, and traffic is bumper to bumper from Burroughs Avenue. Northbound also very heavy from the 11th Street Bridge to Benning Road. Now from GarageStreetHair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, clearing, patchy fog overnight, lows around 69. Right now, 92 in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis.
If you need to choose a new pharmacy, Kinney Drugs hopes you'll choose us. We're an employee-owned company that's been taking care of our community since 1903, and we've made it as easy as 1, 2, 3 to transfer your prescriptions. Get started at KinneyDrugs.com. Banking has its perks. We make sure of it. Open an account with
That's funny.
And get the features that work for you, including higher rates on CDs, lower rates on personal loans, early pay up to 1 day sooner. You'll even get a free green light subscription. Crush your financial goals and open the right account for you. Stop into a local branch or visit cbna.com/bankhappyperks to open your account today.
That could be Rum is Back. That's still funny, but I don't think it is.
Imagine the hospital experience. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, countless tests, and a
Hey, JT, Rain. Oh, fucking grandma-looking creature there who's coming up here trying to use my panel to come after you.
Now, imagine you're a child. This is why Starlight exists. Starlight
I'm not trying to get anybody kicked off the internet.
Bolster confidence and change their
That's fucking
because
stupid.
happiness matters. Visit starlight.org to learn more.
I'm Kiana, and I leveled up my business with Shopify. Once I figured out that Shopify was a thing, I never turned back. I can create a site with my eyes closed.
I don't care what they do
Shopify
in other
thinks
chats.
ahead of us, and it thinks about the customer more than anything. Every day I'm thinking about some other new business. But
I haven't been watching Sykes chat, only very, very little.
It's like I can't stop. I'm addicted.
Start your free trial at
Which is
Shopify.com.
the right thing.
Tucky's fans, Wendy's knows you
I went in there, tried it once. Gotti invited me over there.
with a Tucky's Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken.
He's monetized. I'm not. He hasn't extended me the courtesy. Come into my chat.
And a bag of Tucky's Fuego chips. If we had any
So
more beef
there you go.
than actual,
Rusty said something about it,
for
and
an
she's
intense
right.
take on Tucky's chips, gotta be Wendy's.
No, that chat really isn't for me. Yes, it could be if I wanted it to be. I don't bank online, so I can't send you any money.
Liberty's voice. Mark Levin. Talk with that voice now.
I used my bank card once to pay for StreamYard last year. I haven't been able to use it since December. They won't let me recover. The fucking account got removed. I don't know what the fucking deal is with it.
That we Americans, we pay.
And they want to charge me again. Or they did.
Reasonable
fucking bank. I'm like, what? Why is this money coming out of my
People
bank?
who know good
StreamYard.
Right from wrong. We also know hustlers and grifters and Marxists and fascists and Islamists who endanger our country every damn day. Who are destroying our culture and the civil society. Who are breeding a youth that hates America and embraces the wrong things. We see this guy in New York, this Mamnani, or whatever the hell his name is, was a vile Marxist Islamist. He is a liar about his background, about his race. We've seen his likes before. History's filled with monsters like this. And yet we have a growing, I fear, element that cloaks itself in what I call fake MAGA, or the Republican Party, or the conservative, or whatever they call themselves, populists, nationalists, of an affinity for the Third Reich, affinity for Hitler promoters, who, if not outright Jew haters, they like to walk the fine line. And you know I'm right. This guy Katarlson brings this guy Cooper on his program.
I don't go to Discord.
This guy Cooper is a bum.
I'll never go
in
to
my humble
Discord.
opinion.
You'll never see me in
A
Discord.
complete
Never. I won't
He
go there.
twists and turns. Where Churchill's the bad guy.
Simple.
Hitler really was sending signals. He didn't want to continue with the war, but it was Churchill. He was the problem.
Something in my eye.
Just like those of us who condemn Iran, we're the problem. What kind of a-hole interviews the phony president of an Islamist regime that's slaughtering its own people because he wants to get some information from him? No, he doesn't. Charles C.W. Cook is a bright guy. Writes at National Review. Born in Britain. I don't always agree with him, but I agree with him enough. He takes on this guy Cooper and others who basically say, hey, look, Hitler was sending signals that to the British, to Churchill, but Churchill wouldn't accept them. Churchill wouldn't accept them. Talks about 1940 when he dropped leaflets at Hitler all over Britain,
My woodchuck is out there.
trying to appeal for reason. And Cook writes, where to start? The leaflet referred to here, A Last Appeal to Reason by Adolf Hitler, was dropped en masse on August 1, 1940. By that date, number one, Nazi Germany's attempt to destroy the Royal Air Force ahead of an invasion of Britain was already in its fourth week. 21 days at least before the leaflets, 120 Luftwaffe bombers hit British ships in the Channel.
Carl's
70 Luftwaffe bombers struck dockyards in Wales. From that date on, raids were staged by the Luftwaffe every day and night. Number two, Hitler had already issued Directive Number 16 on July 16, formalizing plans for the imminent invasion of Britain, Operation Celium. Number three, Nazi Germany had already conquered France, Poland, Denmark, Norway, Belgium, and Netherlands, and Luxembourg, and had begun in July 1940 to make plans to invade the Soviet Union, with which it had signed a non-aggression pact and to murder tens of millions of its supposedly subhuman people. See Himmler's memo of May 25, 1940. Cooper's causation is false, too. 5 weeks after...
Yeah, logic goes a regular Himmler.
Bombing London and other British cities in a campaign known as the Blitz. But this didn't happen because, to his great regret, Hitler's friendly little leaflet campaign had failed. It happened because, by that point, Hitler had realized that Nazi Germany was losing the Battle of Britain, that the air superiority he needed prior to an invasion
I already
was going
did.
to elude him, and that a new tactic was necessary. In a sense, the Blitz...
You can go back and look at my stream. I don't need to play it again. You can go back and I fucking sat here and played it several times. You can go back and look at it. I'm not going to interrupt my fucking radio program for you. I want to hear what the fuck's going on.
efforts were indeed made in cities to clean up. And the British
We're talking about Hitler.
Hiding them all wasn't remotely feasible. We even attempted in earnest. Even in the 1990s, when I was a kid, there were so many of them in circulation, you'd see them at garage sales and antique shops, and old people would get them from their attics to show them off. To cast Hitler as Cooper does here, and by extension Churchill, you have to ignore that when this leaflet was dropped, Nazi Germany took over pretty much all of Western Europe. was in the process of attempting to destroy Britain's air defenses so that, in Hitler's own words of July 16, Germany could
He's a
eliminate
Nazi
the English
wannabe.
homeland as a base for the prosecution of the war. Why do I even have to read this crap? Why do I have to explain basic history about the good guys and the bad guys? Why are these insane knucklehead know-nothings?
Keep posting, Vader. Keep posting.
Given platforms. Why? Don't hand me we need to hear both sides. This isn't both sides. Propaganda is not both sides. Lies are not both sides. My God, we can't even get World War II right? Can't even get Nazi Germany right? And then these guys claim that they're MAGA. They're conservative, right? And then they get their little headlines and they get the little hits. Well, my God, I'm going to take this crap on for as long as I live. Because it's destroying our youth. It's poisoning their minds. World War III is going to happen if we take out Iran's nuclear sites. Well, it didn't. And it was never going to happen. Neither were the Arab states going to all join in and defend
They
Iran.
should, Tom.
Which they hate.
They should.
Don't you get tired of being lied to? Don't you get tired of these Svengalis? Whether on the radical Marxist left or the radical fascist right, doesn't it matter? It
I cooked
matters.
that other steak earlier.
We are constitutional conservatives. That's what we are. We don't need rebranding, and we don't need to hear both sides when one side is full of crap. Now, they're welcome to do it, but it has an impact. It has an impact. With the new media, any moron can podcast. And many of them do. And many of them do. There's a reason why. There's this coalition of these weirdos.
Probably why he doesn't stream anymore.
These radical nut jobs. There's a coalition. This isn't them versus we, the establishment. You and I aren't the establishment. You and I are the Tea Party, the Reagan Revolution, the Trump Revolution. You and I are Convention of States. That's hardly establishment. They're not nationalists. They're boneheads. They don't even know what a nationalist is. So we're having to deal with the Marxists and the Islamists.
I'm looking at Vegas chat.
People literally have to take to the internet or me on this radio show and explain why Hitler was the bad guy and Churchill was the good guy. That the West is worth preserving.
DA's crying about getting timed out in acid trips, chat.
The Marxists and the Islamists.
I timed him out.
You're going to get free this, free. Nothing's free. Milton Friedman was right. No such thing as a free lunch. It costs you your property and your liberty and your lifestyle. Is that free? No. And these other morons who claim, we have a new ideology. Oh, we're new. No, you're not. You're the same sad.
Why, yes, Hitler hired the fucking Arabs back in the day. Yes. He's getting oil from them.
History books.
Sure he did.
They were completely wrong when President Trump decided to support Israel in its dealings with Iran. They were completely wrong. When we took out those nuclear sites, there wasn't even a nick on one of our planes. They didn't, not even a paint scratch. They were completely wrong. China did nothing. Russia did nothing. The Arab states are cheering behind the scenes. They went in on the Abraham Accords. They don't apologize. They keep doubling down. They said they're tired of forever wars. Well, one of them was just ended. Just ended. Their enemies are building up, and their answer is ignore them. Or their answer is look at a different enemy, not that enemy. And they talk, they're very slick, and they're very stupid. Very predictable. And they sound like the Marxists and the Islamists, don't they? They all attack capitalism. Have you noticed that? They all attack American business. Have you noticed that? Oh, big this and big that. The big government's the problem. That's the problem. Big government. None of them support Convention of States. They don't even talk about it. Why is that? You know why. They don't want a big activist government. They just wanted to do what they wanted to do. We have our hands full, America. Patriotic Americans, constitutional conservatives, we have our hands full. But the truth is important. The truth is vital. And if we have to sit here and relitigate World War II, and Hitler was bad and Churchill was good, then nobody instigated Hitler. These guys read what Hitler wrote in the 1920s? I mean, what are they talking about? And then they pretend they support our military. We just don't want a forever war. We don't want our people involved in wars. Yes, you do. Because it's people like you that got our people involved in wars in the 1930s. You're the morons who did it. And then the Marxist Islamists taking over our culture. Taking over our culture. Tell me where they're not. Entertainment, academia, the media. Tell me where they're not. Even tonight, I was watching a report. It says, what will Trump do to pressure Netanyahu to get the hostages out from Gaza? Do you believe that, Mr. Producer? Like Netanyahu took hostages. You've got Qatar, which funded Hamas, which protected Hamas, as a mediator. Advising Hamas on what to do while claiming to be a mediator. All Hamas has to do is release the hostages. But they don't want to release the hostages because then they figure they're finished. And they're right. But it's Netanyahu, the pressure on Netanyahu. Just like they trash Churchill. They trash Netanyahu because he's the Churchill of our time. Got to trash these guys, you see. But they're principled. They're principled. They know what they have to do. We're right back.
Mud Lovin'. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
In Chevy Chase, there is an accident now on the outer loop of the Beltway after Connecticut Avenue. 3 left lanes are blocked and traffic is jammed up from Georgia Avenue. And there is still an accident closing down the ramp from the inner loop to go onto River Road. And still some delays on the inner loop from River Road towards 270 and from 355 to Connecticut Avenue and Georgia Avenue. And some delays from Route 1 and College Park all the way towards Route 50 and the 202 Service Road. In Beltsville, there was an accident on Old Baltimore Pike at Avondale Road. And in Bowie, watch out for the crash on Queen Anne Bridge Road at Mill Branch Road. And in Wolf Trap, there was an accident now reported on Route 7 at Towston Road. Now from GarageRepair.com with WMAL Still Watch and Forecast.
Tonight, clearing, patchy fog overnight, low around 69. Tomorrow, hot and humid. Severe thunderstorms possible in the afternoon and evening. Highs in the low to mid-90s.
These days, when it comes to news, the World Wide Web is more like the Wild Wild West.
It makes you want to throw something, doesn't it?
So where can you go to make sense of your world online? Depend on WMAL.com. Get the day's top stories, stream your favorite WMAL shows, access our podcast archives, and more.
Awesome, hilarious, entertaining, educational.
For a local news source you can trust, visit WMAL.com, making sense of your world online.
If you need to choose a new pharmacy, Kinney Drugs hopes you'll choose us. We're an employee-owned company that's been taking care of our community since 1903, and we've made it as easy as 1, 2, 3 to transfer your prescriptions. Get started at KinneyDrugs.com.
We're the stronger than we look type.
I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 2.
The braver than you think type.
I have to take insulin shots every single day.
The type that will stop at nothing.
No more blood sugar tests.
Absolutely nothing.
No more complications.
Until type 1 becomes type none.
Support JDRF's life-changing research, and one day you'll say, I helped turn type 1 into type none. Join us now at jdrf.org.
Banking has its perks. We make sure of it. Open an account with Community Bank and get the features that work for you, including higher rates on CDs, lower rates on personal loans, early pay up to 1 day sooner. You'll even get a free Greenlight subscription. Crush your financial goals and open the right account for you. Stop into a local branch or visit cbna.com/bankhappyperks to open your account today. Conditions and restrictions apply. Member FDIC.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Mattress Firm's July 4th sale is on now. Get a king bed for a queen price and save up to $700. Plus, get a free adjustable base.
Popped out of my thing.
Mattresses. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store website for details.
Trying to roll a joint with hash in it.
One of the big three wireless carriers, you're really overpaying for your service. You're paying for thousands of retail stores you never
Reading
go into.
Vegas
You're
at the
paying
same
for
time.
unnecessary perks you never use. You're paying a massive premium for what you think is superior 5G service. Guess what? Pure Talk uses the same 5G network on the same 5G towers. The only difference, they don't charge you for any of the garbage. Instead, Pure Talk gives you unlimited talk, text, plenty of data for just $25 a month. That's less than half the price of the big guys during a time when saving a buck really matters. I am a Pure Talk customer. I made the switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So folks, do this right now from your cell phone. Dial pound 250. Say Mark Levin. It's that simple. And you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. You can switch over to Pure Talk in as little as 10 minutes. Dial pound 250. Say keyword Mark Levin to switch to Pure Talk. Wireless by Americans for Americans.
What? Making sense of your world.
I don't know where to begin.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Thanks for taking my call.
Making sense of the news. WMAL. Making sense of mainstream media. Because the double standard is real. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Folks, it doesn't take guts to speak out for what you know to be right and good. It doesn't take guts to speak out for our real history and against those who seek to rewrite it to advance an agenda. It doesn't take guts to speak out against grifters, people who want clicks and hits and everything else. And the more extreme and irrational they are, the richer they get. It doesn't take guts to speak out against these people. I don't care if they're Marxists or Islamists or isolationists. I don't care what the hell they are. They're un-American. That I know for sure. That I know for sure.
Ready for.
And you see, I believe in the good sense and the patriotism of the American people, you. And I believe when I shake my head sideways to something I see in here, you're probably doing the same damn thing. These people don't speak for me and they don't speak for you. They speak for themselves in a small cabal. You ever just want to turn off the news and ignore politics? Yes. It's overwhelming, but we're citizens of a republic. The decisions made by our government affect our everyday lives. In order to be a good citizen, you have to read and you have to understand our history, our Declaration, the Constitution. Why we are a great people. That's why I'm so excited that Hillsdale College is offering a brand new free online course called The Federalist. This is a really great course. The Federalist Papers were written primarily by two of America's most important founding fathers, Alexander Hamilton and James Madison. 6 of them were written by John Jay, the first Chief Justice of the United States. Together, they explain how the United States Constitution established a government strong enough to secure the rights of citizens, safe enough to wield that power. Hillsdale's online course on the Federalist includes 10 lectures, each about 30 minutes long. You can take the course at your own pace. You can take it anywhere you want, on any device. There's no cost to sign up, nothing. Oh, this is going to be a great one. I got to watch this. I haven't seen it. Go right now to levinforhillsdale.com to enroll. Levin for Hillsdale.com. There's no cost. Very easy to get started. These are compelling. They're informative. This is why I've partnered with Hillsdale College. So we know American history. So we know the history of World War II. So we know these things. So go right now to levinforhillsdale.com to enroll. That's Levin for Hillsdale.com. You can register for free. Levin for Hillsdale.com. Very proud of Hillsdale and all they've done and all they do. Sadly, Caroline Levitt has to push back against what these Democrats and the media are doing, this horrendous event. Mother Nature isn't so sweet, is she? Count one, go.
Unfortunately, in the wake of this once-in-a-generation natural disaster, we have seen many falsehoods pushed by Democrats such as Senator Chuck Schumer and some members of the media. Blaming President Trump for these floods is a depraved lie, and it serves no purpose during this time of national mourning. Here are the facts. In the lead up,
You know I'm not watching JC.
the National Weather Service did its job. Despite unprecedented rainfall, the National Weather Service executed timely and precise forecasts and warnings. On July 3rd, the National Weather Service office in
Anyway,
Austin, San Antonio.
she goes through the timeline, making it abundantly clear. We'll be right back.
Making sense of your world. There are a lot of things that really tick me off. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
When you buy a new house, you might say,
Shut the front door.
winning,
No, seriously. Shut the front door. We own this house now.
but you actually need to say,
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
that's right. The local State Farm agent is there to help you choose the coverage you need.
Welcome to my crib.
Jeff Holler says he's blocked me. I don't know what fucking Vader's deal is.
If you need to choose a new pharmacy, Kinney Drugs hopes you'll choose us. We're an employee-owned company that's been taking care of our community since 1903, and we've made it as easy as 1, 2, 3 to transfer your prescriptions. Get started at KinneyDrugs.com.
When you buy a bold maxi dress from JCPenney that fits just right and flows with every step, you're not just buying a bold maxi dress from JCPenney that fits just right and flows with every step. You're buying the confidence of looking totally put together, despite the makeup melting heat wave. We've got the receipts. Yes, JCPenney.
Since 1983, Nissan has been assembling award-winning vehicles for you, right here in America. And this summer, we're committed to keeping our lineup free from new tariffs. That's why we've lowered MSRP on our best-selling Rogue and Pathfinder, so you can get the car you want at the price you want. Knowing Nissan is here for you at the Nissan Summer Sales Event.
For a limited time until supplies last, assembled with U.S. and imported parts.
Vader is a simpleton.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington.
He's not very smart.
Making sense of the news.
Vader's main problem is he's lazy. Same with Jeff Holler. Both lazy. Lazy men. Useless.
Tells a federal judge in Maryland, ICE
You couldn't fucking trust your life with him. I'll tell you that right now. Ain't no fucking way. I'd trust my life with Zenny first.
Homeland Security to potentially change plans. It's not clear where the Trump administration intends to send Abrego Garcia.
Andy 504. He's not happy with my relationship with Angela. Just friends.
Garcia's legal team.
A Department of Homeland Security
Yeah.
is going to have to come.
It's like I'm the bar owner and she's a customer.
Questions and tell the court what the actual plan is for Mr. Abrego Garcia.
Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost.
Alvaro, your fucking army is a bunch of fairies. Alvaro's army is a bunch of fucking fairies.
104 people now confirmed to have been killed in violent flash flooding. The dead include
Vader had,
girls and
and you know, is Will Durant in here white knighting for Vader? Is that what's going on? Because I know Will Durant doesn't like acid trip.
I need to tell my community.
Taming of the Shrew.
Families who are waiting.
I don't think you got acid trip taken down. I think he just ended it. Yeah.
We remain hopeful. Every foot, every mile, every bend of the river.
Been a lot of excitement lately.
President Trump will visit the Texas Hill Country later this week. President Trump says if the D.C.
Fast
Council
Eddie.
doesn't act soon to finalize a deal to build a Commander's Stadium at RFK, he could get involved.
It's a great piece of property, so we'll see. But if I can help them out, I will. You know, ultimately we control that.
Though Congress last year approved legislation to transfer administrative control of RFK Stadium campus.
Why are you telling me?
Mayor Bowser announced
Ain't got nothing to do with me. That's him.
But the DC Council is still awaiting 3 studies on the
So
project.
what? Big fucking deal. Should have had his IP fucking address a long time ago. I did.
The President's Day.
It'd be a great place for the NFL to be there.
Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
When asked about his comments, Bowser said,
I'm concerned about all forms of political.
What are you gonna do? Go to his house?
Bowser speaking after she met today with restaurant owners and workers to talk about her proposal to repeal Initiative 82, which incrementally
Acid's already done the damage. He let me into his chat, and he let me take over, and I took over, and you guys are pissed. That's the bottom line.
Workers are taking home less money, and restaurants are closing.
You guys are mad about that girl stopping here and visiting me. I'm just as much surprised as you. I was just asking her to help me with my YouTube channel. Because I figured she probably knows more about the controls on this motherfucker than I do, since that girl asked me if I was in TikTok. So she knows what she's doing. They're not stupid. That's you guys' problem. You take people for idiots. When you do that, they won't trust you.
Injured when it got caught in fishing line was found dangling in a tree in Leesburg. Chris Brosan, chief of humane law enforcement in Loudoun County, helped.
What do you mean he hacked?
With the tree trimmer.
You can't do anything. What are you gonna? YouTube and Google has to shut him down. Tiffany making complaints against him too.
The eagle was set free by wildlife rehabilitator Christine.
Better do something about Rusty. She's got the fucking boat incident posted up already. That motherfucker went on camera, that big fat slob husband of hers. It's like, what the fuck does he do for work?
Yellow toe fungus. You gotta hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both.
I figured out why Tiffany doesn't want any kids from a long time ago.
Jake started off with a small swap.
Seeing her brother the way he is, she didn't want to have a baby like that. Right, Tiffany? Growing up watching your disabled brother, since you're a woman, you get them feelings, right? Is that one of the reasons why you're afraid to have a baby, because they might come out like your brother? It's sad when somebody's born like that. You know, science says you're not fully developed, you're not fully developed. Tiffany, you fully developed right into fucking stupidity. You're piss pot, Tiffany. Monica Ann thinks it's a big deal. Oh, I blocked Billy. I'll go into chat and I don't even know if they have me blocked. I think they unblocked and they just to do it, just go, oh, you're blocked. Oh, you're blocked. and you sit there and you still watch. I don't need to watch JC's chat because her and Wiggin watch my chat constantly. I'm waiting for Wiggin to do his next stream, see if he talks about Billy Hayden. You know I'm going to talk about you.
Right. Now from GarageBreakAir.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
As we head through the remainder of the evening, any lingering showers will draw to a close. Temperatures drop to the upper 60s to middle 70s overnight. Tomorrow, we have a heat advisory east of I-95 and stronger storms in the forecast. I'm 7 News meteorologist Steve Rubin, the First Alert Weather Center.
Right now, 92 degrees in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis on WMAL.
We've once again made contact with our leader at a time, Levin.
Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. You know, being comfortable with your principles, your values, and your beliefs makes things go down a lot easier. It really does. I don't try to invent new things and new ideologies and things of that sort. I try to explain things that work, things that have worked for millennia, and things that don't work, that we know from human experience. American history and ancient history, or modern history. I am comfortable in my skin. I believe in God. I believe in being honorable. I believe in telling the truth. I believe in what I'm doing. I don't wake up every day and look for an angle or look for a special guest to bring on to draw attention to myself. It's not what I do. And I've never done it, and I never will. Been on radio almost 25 years. It was really an accident that I got on radio, something that always interests me, but here I am. I didn't ask to be on Fox. Fox asked me. First as a guest, and as a Sunday host, now a Saturday and Sunday host. Blaze Media is a combination of Conservative View TV and Blaze. Blaze came to us. They wanted us to help have a bigger platform. And we joined with them, and that's what we did. I'm happy about everything we've done. Perfect? No. You'd be a fool to think that. I'm not an old guy, not a young guy. I don't really think about those things. But there will be a day when I decide to hang it up. And what I tell my family is this. Try to do what's right. Try to do what's principled. God is looking over your shoulder. Treat people, whatever their role in life, with respect. Take on the bullies. Don't allow anybody to shout you down. Don't allow anybody to intimidate you. But just know one day when you're on your deathbed, and we all will be, we don't know how, we don't know when, that before you move on, you know that you lived your life the way you wanted to lead it. That's all. It's a pretty simple test. Many of you who listen know that my favorite movie is Patton, for a lot of reasons. But George C. Scott gives that speech at the beginning of the movie. And it's that one little sentence that I never forgot. I believe that movie came out in 1970. Glory is fleeting. Glory is fleeting. Very, very true. There are many egomaniacs who are in broadcasting, and I would include podcasting and other forms of communication. They think they're hot, you know what?
Wow.
They're not. I'm not. They're not. Time moves on. Life moves on. We're all replaceable. Well, almost all. You need to have your head screwed on right. You need to have a purpose in life other than self-promotion. Those of you who've listened to this program for years, I think you understand that about me as I do about you. I don't have to sit around and connive and try and figure out where I stand on issues. Do I, Mr. Producer?
We already do have Jaro right where we want him.
I bring the same core principles.
We mean we, Jason.
Moral beliefs.
It ain't no we, it's me.
To every issue.
Jason.
To every issue.
I've had
Doesn't
Jaro
mean
right
we
where I
always
want
agree.
him since fucking day one.
Doesn't mean that people disagree with me, aren't godly and don't have moral beliefs and don't know history and so forth. But then there are those who you know. Who are in it for themselves. It's not hard to tell. When you went to school, you grew up with people like this. When you're at work, you're around people like this. You know. I know. So it's not that you have to be strong to confront these things or face these things. We need a thick skin when news outlets or individuals get their chuckles with headlines and other things they try to create and stir the pot and do this and do that. You have to have a core, values, and a belief system. Now, the last 5-6 weeks, you could see the debates that were taking place. There weren't so much debates as there were confrontations. Individuals who've pled to crimes, who've committed crimes, who want you to follow them. Individuals who've paid for hookers and done other things, who want you to follow them. Individuals who have more personalities than Sybil, who want you to follow them. Quislings who can't decide on the most fundamental issues, whether they're staying on this side of the fence or that side of the fence. Those are the people, if I may give advice, you should run from as fast as you can. Because that's not you. That's not what we Americans are. We know right from wrong. We know good from evil. We know this is a great country. We don't attack people because they're poor or billionaires. We don't attack people if they're Jew or Gentile, if they're male or female. Doesn't matter to you and me. We could care less. We take them as they come. As long as they support the country, support our values and principles. There can be debates within that context, but not debates about that context. We've had great leaders. We've had the worst of leaders. When the worst of leaders take us into certain wars they shouldn't take us into, it doesn't mean we're bad people, and it doesn't mean forevermore we should avoid confrontation if confrontation is about saving the next generation and the generation after that. We should use prudence. We should use our knowledge, our common sense. We shouldn't be ideological about war or foreign policy in any way. I find that people of the sort I've just defined, they're not really in the substance. When they say they want to debate people, they really don't want to debate people. They just want to try and steamroller them and humiliate them. I've seen it. Draw attention to themselves. That's what they do. And with the advent of podcasting, the advent of social media and everything that has spawned, you get a lot of good people you wouldn't normally have heard from. But you get a lot of the rest too. And so it means you got to be discerning, and you are. People will disappoint you, not because you disagree with them, but because they're disappointing. Because that's who they are. You come to learn who they are over time. I do 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. I don't hide anything. I've done it for over 2 decades. You know me and you know where I stand. I've written 11 books. You know the most and deepest thoughts I have about subjects because I lay them out. I lay them out. I will never intentionally mislead you. I certainly will never lie to you. I will never say things to you for reasons of puffery. I'll never pretend I'm doing something right if I do something wrong. If I do something wrong, I will let you know and I will apologize for it. It's important that you, the millions and millions of you get to listen to whomever you want, watch whomever you want, that you're very discerning. Because there's a lot out there now. Some of it really great, some of it really horrible. I'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625. Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-785-9132.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you gotta hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe and then it spread and got really bad. His toes.
Well, I was made to go to church every day. I'm not going to wish you a Merry Christmas because I'm not a fucking fake Christian. That would probably push me out of the group.
Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com.
Oh, I can't be bothered to make this pointless fucking video. Oh, well, I was made to go to church every day. I'm not going to wish you a Merry Christmas because I'm not a fucking fake Christian. That'd probably push me out of the group. Cheer you up, son. All right. It's not a nasty video. I was made to go to church every day. As a fucking scumbags. You're a shit-stirring old fart. Fuck you. Fuck the lot of ya, right? Hello? The contestants. Fuck you. Fuck the lot of ya, right? I'm not going to wish you a Merry Christmas. This is not being nasty. Fuck you. Fuck the lot of ya, right? I went, no, Mum, no. Not the fucking scumbags. Maybe I've got screenshots. Oh, maybe I've got screenshots. Fuck you. Fuck the lot of ya, right? I'm not going to wish you a Merry Christmas. And, all of this flirting and that, pretend fake blows. I went, no, Mum, no. Come back on another account because I want to block all your accounts in one go, dickhead. Right? I'm not going to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Back on another account,
went, no, Mum, no. All of this flirting and that, pretend fake blows. You won't enjoy it, my friend. The contestants. Hello? Anyway, so the reason why you're going to start noticing my absence is because blowjob or whatever, the dregs of the barrel, okay? And when I say things, I provide fucking evidence, all right? Blowjob or whatever. Maybe I've got screenshots. Oh, maybe I've got screenshots. I went, no, Mum, no. I was made to go to church every day. Right? I'm not going to wish you a Merry Christmas because I'm not a fucking fake Christian. Fucking hell, I've forgotten his name. I went, no, Mum, no. Blowjob or whatever.
Making sense of your
Guaranteed you a real good fine time. Drinking rum and Coca-Cola. Good gun fun, cool, I know. What mother and daughter working for the Yankee dollar.
This bill that was passed by Congress. Has anybody read this thing? 900 pages. I paged through it the other night, Mr. Producer. It's a pretty good bill. There's a lot of good things in this bill. So I'm thinking to myself, is the perfect bill? Of course not. Would we have liked to cut another 5% out? Of course we would. But, ladies and gentlemen, Congress is made up of people we elect and the people we can't stand elect. They don't have enough votes to cut anymore. So what is President Trump supposed to do? What's he supposed to do? Now compare this bill to what the Democrats did for 4 years. They ran the debt through the roof. They're talking about the deficit spending on this. Depending on whose math you look at, it's either cutting $1.5 trillion or it's adding $4 trillion. The problem with the adding $4 trillion crowd, the Congressional Budget Office, is they don't factor in growth from tax cuts. And they do this every time. And so if you listen to them, you'll sink every tax cut forever because they only count it as a cost, not as a growth potential. And we know it's a growth potential because we know it grows. Whether it was Kennedy or Reagan or Trump 1 or Trump 2, it'll grow. And so they're trying desperately, are the Democrats, to tell you that there are Medicaid cuts. First of all, most of you aren't on Medicaid. But those of you who are on Medicaid, you're on Medicaid because you need it, because that's the nature of the program. It's for people who are destitute, people who are having hard times for a period of time, an extended period of time, and so forth. It is not for illegal aliens, and it's not for able-bodied and able-minded young adults. And unfortunately, we have millions of people who are stealing from the program by violating the requirements. They are to be removed, millions of them, and that will help save the Medicaid program. For the Democrats, they're telling you they're slashing Medicaid and throwing all these people off of health care. That's what they're calling Medicaid cuts. But it's not Medicaid cuts. It's cutting people who are not supposed to be there in the first place. If you're not supposed to be on the program and you're removed, that's not a Medicaid cut. That's removing somebody who's ripping off the system. Don't we want them removing people off the system? I think we do. Don't we want people who are 32 years old, able-bodied, able-minded, working at least 20 hours a week? Is that so hard? They even say you don't have to have that kind of job. You can volunteer for something, maybe the dog pound or your church. Or is that so horrible? When the federal government says you got to do something for 20 hours a week, if you're able-bodied and able-minded. If you're not able-bodied and able-minded, you're a legitimate recipient of Medicaid support. So that's what the bill does. Now, tax cut for billionaires. I've asked over and over again, which tax cut in the bill is for billionaires? We've had all this discussion now, for weeks?
I asked somebody that, it wouldn't answer
Not a single
me.
media person has said what tax cut is for billionaires. Not a single Democrat has said which tax cut is for billionaires. There's no tax cut in there for billionaires. Is it possible that billionaires benefit from a tax cut for people who earn $100,000 or $200,000 or $300,000? Yes, it is. But it's not a tax cut for a billionaire. For all their talk about worried about the average Joe and the average Sally, you saw what they did the last 4 years to gasoline prices, which are way down, to food prices, which are way down.
That's them.
So I ask you, spends more than it should, Elon Musk says. Okay, great. I've said over and over again, I wrote a whole book on it. Washington will not reduce spending the way it needs to be reduced. That's up to the state legislature's convention of states. And so I asked, I left a post, a very polite post for Elon Musk, because America's governor, Ron DeSantis, triggered my thinking. He said, of course, I think I triggered his thinking before. It doesn't matter. It's the same mindset here. Why don't you get behind some of these things that the Convention of States is pushing? Wow. That's my view, too. Can you imagine what a magnificent push would be from the richest man on the face of the earth? Look what's been accomplished with minimal amount of money and minimal amount of attention. A lot. But the only way we're going to reconstitutionalize, a phrase I coined, but so be it, reconstitutionalize our society is not through one spending bill. It's not going to happen. Congress is not going to fix Congress. It institutionally is incapable of it now. The state legislatures have to fix Congress. And if they won't do it, it's not going to be fixed. That's the truth. But to hear the Democrats talk about spending and debt, ladies and gentlemen, that's like Jack the Ripper out against the death penalty, you know? There's not a single policy that they support. People say, is there anything they do that you support? Not one damn thing. Nothing. Zero. Nothing. So this big, beautiful bill, it's not positive for the economy, they say. Yes, it is. It's very positive for the economy. It's positive for millions and millions of you. I was having dinner the other night, more diner than anything else. And the waiter says to me, he's very excited. I said, the cap is $25,000 on tips. He says, that's far more than I'm making on tips. I can't thank Trump enough.
Hi, I'm George, an economics major at Hillsdale College. Here's Hillsdale President Dr. Larry Arnn with the Constitution Minute.
The Declaration of Independence is a to a British king, written by upstart colonists, although it very much is. The Declaration explains the promise of America, that all men and women are born equal in the possession of natural rights, and that the proper exercise of these rights can lead to a full and deeply satisfying life. Just as the Declaration explains America's promise, the Constitution upholds that promise. Its purpose is to protect the rights of all of us, our natural rights. This establishes the possibility, not the guarantee, that we can have a...
Oh, I can't be bothered to make this pointless fucking video. Oh, well, I was made to go to church every day. Anyway, I'm not going to wish you a Merry Christmas because I'm not a fucking fake Christian. That'd probably push me out of the group. Cheer you up, son. All right? It's not a nasty video. I was made to go to church every day. As the fucking scumbags. And you're a shit-stirring old fart. Fuck you. Fuck the lot of ya, right? Hello? The contestants. Fuck you. Fuck the lot of ya, right? I'm not going to wish you a Merry Christmas. This is not being nasty. Fuck you. Fuck the lot of ya, right? I went, no, Mum, no. Not the fucking scumbags. And maybe I've got screenshots. Oh, maybe I've got screenshots. Fuck you. Fuck the lot of ya, right? I'm not going to wish you a Merry Christmas. Beer and, all of this flirting and that, pretend fake blows. I went, no, Mum, no. Come back on another account because I want to block all your accounts in one go, dickhead. I'm not going to wish you a Merry Christmas. You've tried all different angles on me. I went, no, Mum, no. Beer and, all of this flirting and, pretend fake blows. You won't enjoy it, my friend. The contestants. Hello? Anyway, so the reason why you're going to start noticing my absence is because blowjob or whatever the dregs of the barrel, okay? And when I say things, I provide fucking evidence, alright? Blowjob or whatever. Maybe I've got screenshots. Oh, maybe I've got screenshots. I went, no, Mum, no. I was made to go to church every day. I'm not going to wish you a Merry Christmas because I'm not a fucking fake Christian. Fucking hell, I've forgotten his name. I went, no, Mum, no. Blowjob or whatever.
Guarantee you a real good fine time drinking rum and Coca-Cola. Good and fun, cool, I know. Both mother and daughter working for the Yankee dollar.
But you actually need to say, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Rum is back.
Right. Local State Farm agent is there.
Rum takes it in the back.
Welcome to my crib.
Yeah, he runs his suck fuck. He blocks and then he talks behind a block. They're all doing their comedy routine, but they have the main character blocked. All they can do is have Logical to try to spam me out of the chat. Rum's a coward. Oh, he came up here the other night, snickering, thinking he's funny and everything, but I wasn't nice to him. I wasn't mean enough, though. He really didn't have much to say.
Students and teachers in the community and beyond. Learn more at DonusChoose.org.
Hey, 20 would you bid 30?
They're going after Wiggin. Wiggin up there on his piano. We're being attacked by new crew. Smoke another cigarette, Wiggin. I got a little hay fever. Fucking shit gets right in your sinuses.
Receive top cash price for your real estate and personal property in one day at the Boston Auction Way. And it's sold.
Happy kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation delivers happiness through gaming. Toy deliveries are more to hospitals across the country. Learn more at starlight.org.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep.
Well, I tried to
Mattress Firm's July 4th sale is on now. Get a king bed for a queen price and save up to $700. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Tuesday on the Derek Hunter Show.
Phew.
Got into Colombia by claiming to be an African American with a left scared. We'll talk about it at 3 o'clock on WMAM.
President of the United States and
got the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State, I can't see others, as well as the Prime Minister of Israel and some of his folks. The microphones are there at the dinner table. Go ahead.
And it was obliterated. It turned out the Atomic Energy Commission said it is obliterated. I would just want to take our hats off to those incredible flyers, the people that flew that big machine, and frankly, the mechanics and everybody else. I mean, they had zero. They flew for 37 hours with zero problem mechanically. I mean, when you think in carrying the biggest bombs ever, the biggest bombs that we've ever dropped on anybody, when you think non-nuclear, and we want to keep it non-nuclear, by the way. But they did a phenomenal job. It was an amazing job. And I think that was, I was talking to Bibi about it before, that was the very beginning of the end. It ended very quickly after that. I don't want to say what it reminded me of, but if you go back a long time ago, it reminded people of a certain other event. And is Harry Truman's picture is now in the lobby, in a nice location of the lobby where it should have been, but that stopped a lot of fighting. And this stopped a lot of fighting. When that happened, it was a whole different ballgame.
On future Iran strikes, what can you say? What might make you have the desire to do another strike on Iran?
Another what?
Another strike on Iran.
I hope we're not going to have to do that. I can't imagine wanting to do that. I can't imagine them wanting to do it. They want to meet. They want to meet. They want to work something out. No, they're different. They're very different now than they were 2 weeks ago.
Is there a date yet for the Iran talks, or a city? Do you know when and where the next round of Iran talks will be?
Well, I can tell you. I'd rather not say, but you'll be reading about it tomorrow or seeing it tomorrow.
Mr. President, what is the holdup currently in a ceasefire with Hamas?
In which?
Yeah, my leg hurts.
What's currently the holdup?
I don't think there is a holdup.
Old age is catching up to me.
I think things are going along very well. They just, left each other, and it was not a pleasant.
Not as stiff as you are, though. You're a fucking stiff motherfucker.
Period of time, and we were at the end. 14 missiles were shot. And every single missile was shot out of the air. It was pretty amazing. That was sort of the end. And they told us they were coming and where they were and what time they were coming. And they said, if you'd like to have a different time, we'll do that. And that's respect when they do that. I appreciated that they did that. There was no surprise. We got the soldiers out of the base in Qatar, in this case. But they knew they were coming. 14 missiles were coming. 1 o'clock, they said, would you like to make it later? They said, no, let them come at 1 o'clock. And at 1 o'clock, everybody was, as you know, over 5,000 people left the base. And we had 3 gunners and 3 assistants. And out of the 14 that were shot, all 14 were knocked down. And that was the end. That was about it. And we had a rough time. But sometimes, sometimes you need the rough time in order to get. I think things are going to be really settled down a lot in the Middle East. And they respect us, and they respect Israel. They respect a lot of things that took place. Nobody's ever seen equipment like what we sent over to knock out those sites. But when those sites were knocked out, it essentially, that was the end.
Do you think that there can be a two-state solution that creates an independent?
I don't know. I asked Bibi that question. You have the greatest man in the world to answer that age-old question, two-state. Go ahead. You give him your honest answer.
I think Palestinians should have all the powers to govern themselves, but none of the powers should threaten us. And that means that certain powers, like overall security, will always remain in our hands. Now, that is a fact. And no one in Israel will agree to anything else because we don't commit suicide. We want life, we cherish life for ourselves, for our neighbors. And I think we can work out a peace between us and the entire Middle East with President Trump's leadership. And by working together, I think we can establish a very, very broad peace that will include all our neighbors.
Mr. President, you asserted that there's complete and total destruction of the nuclear facilities. So what is the basis of the talks going forward? Is it to cap future nuclear activity, to ballistic missiles, terrorist support? economic-based opportunities? What are they?
It's really a good question, because if you remember when it was done, I sort of said, what's the purpose of talking? It's been knocked out completely.
Fucking leg hurt.
And they've requested a meeting, and I'm gonna go to a meeting, and if we can put something down on paper, that'll be fine, that'll be good. I think they gained a lot of respect for us. I think they gained a lot of respect for Israel also. But they would like to meet, and we're gonna have a meeting. Steve, when is that meeting gonna be? Do you wanna say?
Very quickly, in the next week or so.
So we'll see what happens. I think it'd be nice to memorialize it, put it down, but because of the incredible result of that attack, if you want to call it an attack, I didn't think it was necessary to have it in writing. I think we spoke. I mean, that speaks much louder than writing, but I can also understand why they'd want it. And they've been very nice. They've been very respectful. And it began by them telling us about 14. They had to do. You know what 14 represents, right? Do you know what 14 represents? Right? You know that, right? The number of bombs dropped. So it was, representative. We got them all. In your please, behind you, please. No, you.
So this is better for the Prime Minister. The likely next mayor of New York City is or Democratic Socialist, the local critic of his representative yourself, and has said he would arrest you if you came to New York City if he was mayor. Is that something you take seriously, or are you concerned about that? Do you have a response to that?
No, I'm not concerned about that.
I'll get him out.
Look, there's enough craziness in the world, but I guess it never ends. I mean, you have this is a falling, and it's it's silly in many ways because it's just not serious. But what is serious is the question I was asked before. After October 7th, people said the Palestinians have a state, Hamas state in Gaza. And look what they did with it. They didn't build it up. They built down into bunkers, into terror tunnels. After which they massacred our people, raped our women, beheaded our men, invaded our cities and our towns and our kibbutzim, and did horrendous massacres, the kind of which we didn't see since World War II and the Nazis, the Holocaust. So people aren't likely to say, let's just give them another state. It'll be a platform to destroy Israel. We'll work out a peace with our Palestinian neighbors, those who don't want to destroy us, and we'll work out a peace in which our security, the sovereign power of security, always remains in our hands. Now, people will say it's not a complete state, it's not a state, it's not that. We don't care. We vowed never again is now. It's not going to happen again.
So we'll see you in New York next year?
Oh, well, look, I'm going to come there with the President Trump, and we'll see how do you know who the mayor will be? I don't know that. Do we know that?
He's going to be very fine, and who knows? We don't know who the mayor is going to be yet. But this is a communist. He's not a socialist. He's a communist. And he said some really bad things about Jewish people. And he said some really bad things about a lot of people.
I'm sticking with this. It's very important.
I think he's going through a little bit of a honeymoon right now, but he might make it. But, it all comes through the White House. He needs the money through the White House. He needs a lot. He's going to behave. He'll behave. He better behave. Otherwise, he's going to have big problems. But it's a philosophy that this country is not ready for, and it never will be. And by the way, we have a man with us who thought this was going to be a very glamorous, easy job. He's the ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, former governor, former everything. I'd say he's a former everything, and respected and loved by everybody. And he loves Israel. He loves the state of Israel, and nobody loves it much more. And he's not Jewish, and he loves Israel. And he wanted to be there. I said, Mike, it could be dangerous. No. Well, at least I was right about that. He was in every bunker you could be in. He was running around from bunker to bunker, but he's still with us, fortunately, and he's done a great job. Would you say a few words, Mike?
Just want to say what an honor it is to serve you, Mr. President, and to see a historic horizon that we're looking at in the Middle East. And when the president made his trip to the Middle East, and then he really reached out to the new Syrian government, knowing they needed a partner and knowing that they could pick the wrong partner. And what the president did, which took us all off guard, but the strategic move in that has set up something that is absolutely historic. And Mr. President, I don't even think you fully comprehend the impact that you're having on the region in a way that is so remarkable. And it was your leadership, your foresight, you did that when the B-2s went in. The celebration, the sense of partnership that you gave with the Israeli people was so dramatic. But the message was bigger than to Israel. It was a message to the world. America's friends can trust us, but America's foes had better fear us. And that is a message that the president sent to everyone on the planet. And it is a message that will resonate toward a matter of peace, the likes of which I don't think we've ever seen. So thank you.
Great job you're doing. They love you all. They respect him and they love him.
Mr. President.
You know, it's very, very interesting. We had the pilots here yesterday, as you know, and they were incredible. And we also had the mechanics. We had a lot of people here that had to do, a lot of people, I think about 170 people that had to do with that incredible journey, a journey that could have been horrible. You remember what happened with Jimmy Carter, with the helicopters and all of the problems, and ultimately hostages. We had the exact opposite. Everything was perfect. It worked perfectly. But I didn't realize, I was saying to one, is this something that you felt strongly about? Absolutely, sir. I couldn't wait. I said, better than you, really better you than me. But they couldn't wait. He said, sir, we've been practicing for this mission for more than 20 years. From just after 2000, they've been thinking and practicing to go into that area. I guess you probably know that better than anybody, Pete.
Well, we're going to have to take a little break. I am fascinated by this, aren't you, Mr. Producer? Have you ever seen anything like this in America or heard anything like this? I don't think so. You can see he's rightly, justifiably proud of his order to take out those nuclear sites. This is what the fake MAGA never understood. This man who understands prudence. It's a man who's very wise. It's a man who knew what had to be done. And now there's an opportunity for a wider peace rather than Iran with nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles. I want you to think about this when you hear from these people going on and on about who the real warmongers are.
Yeah, make me a snack.
Where am I, Rich? Help me. Yes. Folks, what if you could delay your next 2 mortgage payments? That's right. Imagine putting those 2 payments in your pocket and finally getting a little breathing room, especially now in summertime and maybe you need a little extra cash. It's possible when you call American Financing today. They're fantastic. I use them. Rich has used them. My daughters use them. They're very highly rated and regarded. If you're feeling stretched by everyday expenses, if you just need a little cash, if you just want to save some money, you're not alone. Most Americans are putting these expenses on credit cards and they're paying through the nose. It's like paying the mob, quite frankly. 20, 25, 30%. American Financing can show you how to use your home's equity to pay off all that debt, to get rid of it. You need to call American Financing today before you get to a point where you can't make those payments anymore. And then you have all these creditors going after you and it gets uglier and uglier. Now, they're salary-based mortgage consultants, salary-based, not commissions. They're helping homeowners just like you, and they've helped many in this audience to restructure their loans and consolidate the debt, all without upfront fees. It's a matter of moving your money around. That's all it is. That's all it is. And they'll show you how to do it. And their customers are saving on average $800 a month. That's like $10,000 raise every year. And remember, the interest on your mortgage, your property taxes are deductible. Now up to $40,000. Well, most of you don't need that much, but there it is. It's in the big, beautiful bill. It's a fact. It's simple. Can save you enormous sums of money just by moving your money in the right direction. So call American Financing today. They're there right now. 888-900-1828, 888-900-1828, 888-900-1828, or visit AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
We'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Banking has its perks. We make sure of it. Open an account with Community Bank and get the features that work for you, including higher rates on CDs, lower rates on personal loans, Early pay up to 1 day sooner. You'll even get a free Greenlight subscription. Crush your financial goals and open the right account for you. Stop into a local branch or visit cbna.com/bankhappyperks to open your account today. Conditions and restrictions apply. Member FDIC.
Need a work truck you can count on? Upgrade your ride with Bob Johnson Ford of Pulaski's great deals. Through July 7th, get $5,000 off a massive selection of Super Duty and Transit vans. Visit bobjohnsonford.com. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
Do you know QuickBooks Online can help you streamline much more of your business finances? With your financial accounts and apps in one place, you can easily see where your business stands. You can automate tedious tasks, run your business on the go with the mobile app, and get insights to make confident business decisions. Get all the financial tools you need all in one place for clearer financial visibility. Learn more about growing your business and get 90% off QuickBooks Online for 3 months. Limited time offer, terms apply.
My baby brother, a father. Come on, it's time for his nap. Whoa, he can't sleep on his stomach. Babies should always sleep on their backs in a safety-approved crib, and the sleep area should be clear of blankets, toys, and other loose or soft items. It reduces the risk of SIDS. SIDS? You know, sudden infant death syndrome. Guess I need to start studying up on safe sleep for little man here. Being his favorite uncle comes with big responsibilities.
For more information, visit safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
Banking has its perks. We make sure of it. Open an account with Community Bank and get the features that work for you, including higher rates on CDs, lower rates on personal loans, early pay up to 1 day sooner. You'll even get a free Greenlight subscription. Crush your financial goals and open the right account for you. Stop into a local branch or visit cbna.com/bankhappyperks to open your account today. Conditions and restrictions apply. Member FDIC.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. If you're over 50 and tired of your wireless bill getting higher and higher, there are 4 things to consider. 1, how much data are you really using? As we get older, we use less data on our wireless phone, but you're probably still paying for an unlimited plan that was designed for 20-somethings. 2, if you see "get a phone on us," get your sneakers out and run the other way. No one is giving you a free phone. You are paying for that phone over time with an overpriced rate plan and a long-term commitment. 3, check the fine print on that $15 a month plan. It's probably an intro price that'll double or triple later. You might even have to pay for several months of service up front. Number 4, be aware of cable company wireless plans. Most of your usage will be on Wi-Fi instead of 5G, and your calls and battery life could suffer. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable, nationwide service without the big wireless bill. Our plans start at just $20 a month.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Making sense of your world.
I agree with everything you're saying.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
My heart just breaks for what's going on.
Making sense of the news. WMAL, making sense of party politics, because somebody's got to hold their feet to the fire. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
And there's a lot to gain by moving towards peace. And I think that opportunity has been opened by the president and by the changed security situation which we brought about with the collapse of the Assad regime.
Are there costs of the Assad government?
Now, let's suppose there were. Would I answer yes? No. Right?
That's my duty to ask.
It's your duty to ask, and my duty to ask you back. So,
You know, at the request of a lot of countries in the surrounding area of the Middle East, including Bibi, we took the sanctions off Syria, and I met the new leader. I was very impressed by him. Somebody said, well, he comes from a very tough background. I said, well, you know, I'm not that surprised. It's a tough part of the world. But I was very impressed by him. But we took the sanctions off because we want to give them a chance. They would never have had a chance without the sanctions. And one of the things we have with Iran is, you know, we have they call it biting, they are very biting sanctions. And I would love to be able to, at the right time, take those sanctions off, give them a chance at rebuilding, because I'd like to see Iran build itself back up in a peaceful manner and not going around saying death to America, death to the USA, death to Israel, as they were doing. You know, they were the bully of the Middle East, and now they're not the bully anymore. But they were saying terrible things, and would like to see them. They have such potential. You know, they have the oil power, and they have great people, smart people, energetic people, amazing. And I know so many Iranians from New York. I have a lot of friends, and they're great people. So it's a shame when you see a thing like this happen. But I think that taking the sanctions off of Syria is going to give Syria a great shot at making it.
Congressional question. Are there any executive orders that you'd like to see Congress focus on when they come back in session? Do you have any that you prioritize to go first?
Well, we've done a lot of them in the last, as you know, and I always say the great, big, beautiful bill. I add the word great, but it was the largest bill of its kind ever passed. We were talking about it before. It was beauty. But, you know, a lot of the things that we did, executive orders, have been codified in the legislation that we just had passed. And we're going to be sending it a lot more over the next period of about 2 months separately. But a lot of it was part of that beautiful big bill.
Mr. President, on tariffs, what happened to 90 trade deals in 90 days?
We've spoken to everybody. We know everything. It's all done. I told you, we'll make some deals, but for the most part, we're going to send a letter. We're going to say, welcome to the United States. If you'd like to participate in the greatest, most successful country ever. I mean, we're doing better than ever. I don't think, and you're going to see these numbers soon. We've never had numbers like this. We've never had investment like this. We have more than 90. We're going to have much more than 90, but most of those are going to be sent a letter. This is exactly what I said. Now, we've made a deal with United Kingdom. We've made a deal with China. We've made a deal. We're close to making a deal with India. Others we met with, and we don't think we're going to be able to make a deal, so we just send them a letter. If you want to play ball, you have to. This is what you have to pay. So, as far as I'm concerned, we're done. We're sending out letters to various countries telling them how much tariffs they have to pay. Some will maybe adjust a little bit, depending if they have a cause. We're not going to be unfair about it. And actually, it's a small fraction compared.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a big hour left. I don't know if they'll still be at it at that table. If they are, I'm going to keep listening with you. This is history. What you're listening to is history. We've never had a president like this. And see how sharp he is and wise he is as he talks through all these issues. He can field any question. We'll be right back.
Making sense of your world.
I agree with you 100%.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
There's a lot of us out there.
Making sense of the news.
Pets can have allergies too. Thankfully at Chewy, you can get 20% off your first pharmacy order, including allergy relief meds with code RX20. Trust Chewy Pharmacy for fast pet med deliveries to your door. Shop now at chewy.com.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Mattress Firm's July 4th sale is on now. Get a king bed for a queen price and save up to $700. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
All right, Takis fans, Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
Grieving and searching. I'm Tom Rigotti, Fox News. Search and rescue operations continue in Central Texas in the aftermath of deadly flooding that began Friday. And at least 100 people are now reported dead. Fox's Mike Tobin is in Kerrville.
400 rescuers from 20 different agencies searched debris and the Guadalupe River itself, hoping against the odds to find the survivor. More than 850 people were rescued. Girls rescued from Camp Mystic sang gospel songs when they got a look at the deadly raging waters.
I'll shout it from the mountaintops, praise God.
The Coast Guard lifted flood victims to Dolphin helicopters, and a heroic swimmer, Scott Rushkin, is credited with saving 165 people. Now officials are faced with questions about why people in Central Texas were not warned early enough and why the victims did not have escape routes.
The government of El Salvador has acknowledged to United Nations investigators that the Trump administration maintains control of the Venezuelan men deported from the U.S. to a notorious Salvadorian prison. That contradicts public statements by officials in both countries. Lawyers for more than 100 migrants are challenging their deportations to El Salvador's CICOT Center. The Trump administration has argued they were powerless to return the men. The Trump administration has sent letters to several countries that informs them of potential future tariff rates.
Here are the 14 countries that received these letters. They include South Korea, Japan, South Africa, Malaysia, Thailand, Cambodia, Indonesia, and many more. And in the letter, the president outlines the tariff that these countries will have to pay starting August 1st, and they range from 25 to 40%. And in the letter, President Trump says, if for any reason you decide to raise your tariffs, then whatever the number you choose to raise them by will be added on to the 25%, 36%, or 40% that we charge.
It's Fox's Grady Trimble. America's listening to Fox News.
Over 100 deaths and counting. I'm Sharon Reardon from the Novak Motors News Desk. Good evening. The death toll now stands at 104 across 6 counties in the devastating Texas flash floods, as the mayor of hard-hit Kerrville asks for coordinated help.
We have been blessed with help from the community, from the state, and the nation.
Including Virginia, deploying 2 swiftwater rescue teams to assist in the search and rescue by order of Governor Glenn Youngkin. Mayor Joe Herring Jr.
We need focused and coordinated volunteers, not random people just showing up and doing what they do.
Adding,
I've said this 100 times, and I will say it again. We need your prayers. We need your prayers.
Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser signs emergency legislation into law expanding the summer youth curfew after a weekend when dozens of teens were charged for allegedly shooting off illegal fireworks and causing chaos at the Navy Yard.
The chief will have it among her tools.
The curfew goes into effect at 11 p.m. citywide this month and next. The law also gives the police chief the ability to create areas where it will start at 8. Meanwhile, police continue to search for a person who shot and critically injured a 15-year-old in the Navy Yard on Friday night. They've released surveillance video of that suspect. And a head-on crash in the 495 express lanes in Fairfax County early yesterday morning kills the drivers of both vehicles. Virginia State Police say 24-year-old Tremaine Gross was driving southbound in the northbound lanes near the 48-mile marker when he hit Megan Mathis's Jeep head-on. Both drivers were wearing seatbelts. The crash remains under investigation. WMAL News Time is 8:04. I'm Sharon Reardon, and now here's your WMAL traffic and weather from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
BW Parkway northbound, looking at that crash still at Powder Mill Road. A right lane block there, so very slow from the Beltway. Southbound, minor rubbernecking delays as well from 197 down. If you're continuing on 295 south, a little bit slow still before East Capitol Street. Northbound, all clear from the 11th Street Bridge up to Eastern Ave. Inner and outer loop of the Beltway moving along fine now, as well as 95 and 270 looking great. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Tonight, clearing, patchy fog overnight, low around 69. Tomorrow, hot and humid. Severe thunderstorms possible in the afternoon and evening. Highs in the low to mid 90s.
Running a business, I've learned that every missed call is a missed opportunity. Before my team found OpenPhone, it was chaos. Personal numbers for customer calls, missed messages, no visibility into who followed up or didn't. Now we've got a business phone system that keeps up. With OpenPhone, our whole team can call and text from a shared number, assign follow-ups, and track every conversation with call transcripts and summaries. Best part? Whether it's after hours or we're just busy, AI steps in to handle calls, answer customer questions, and capture leads. Our phones are covered 24/7 and we never miss a beat. OpenPhone starts at just $15 a month, and they'll even port over your existing numbers for free. Over 60,000 businesses are using OpenPhone, and now I get why. Try it out and get 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/radio. That's openphone.com/radio for 20% off. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers.
The S&P 500 closed today 50 points up.
You didn't inherit your future. You built it. One paycheck, one sacrifice, one smart decision at a time. Why let the policies in Washington squander your success?
I'm Joseph Credante, CEO and co-founder of Alio Capital. I founded Alio Capital to offer a different path from the establishment, one that prioritizes long-term thinking and portfolio construction over trading. Alio has an AI-powered macro investing app that makes the complex simple. It combines adaptive learning systems that focuses on the powerful forces that shape markets, economics, policy, and politics.
Alio Capital's Altitude AI is a proprietary tool designed to analyze these macroeconomic factors and their potential impact on your portfolio. Download our app today in the App Store or Google Play. Text Altitude to 511-511. ALLIO Capital. Text Altitude to 511-511.
Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Past performance does not guarantee results. See terms and conditions. Tax fees may apply.
Under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. Well, it looks like we have federal judges who are, I don't know, can we call them criminal? Their conduct is certainly violative of the Constitution. Listen to this latest one. Federal judge blocks Planned Parenthood defunding in Big Beautiful Bill. This is from Just the News. U.S. District Judge Indira Talwani, an Obama appointee, issued the temporary restraining order. She's in Boston. The ruling comes in the wake of a Supreme Court ruling that dramatically limited the scope of nationwide injunctions by lower court judges and is sure to lead to a legal fight with the administration. Now, this isn't the first one. This is like the third federal judge who's defied the Supreme Court's ruling, which upholds the Constitution, separation of powers. And remember, these lower federal courts, they're created by Congress, and their jurisdiction is created by Congress. Congress defunded Planned Parenthood in the bill that the president signed. Congress defunded it. The president signed it. So there's two branches of government, the elected branches, the one that's in charge of the power of the purse, the one that's required to execute the law, and then in comes a federal judge appointed by Obama that says, sorry, you have to fund Planned Parenthood? Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is literally nothing that compels this. Nothing. The true design of the defund provision is simply to express disapproval of, attack, and punish Planned Parenthood, writes the judge, which plays a particularly prominent role in the public debate over abortion. Excuse me, that's what Planned Parenthood argued.
Who cares what they argued? Who cares what their position is? Congress doesn't have to fund Planned Parenthood, and the president doesn't have to sign on to it. I mean, this is ridiculous. Now, as bad as that group is, and remember, it was started by Margaret Sanger, who was a eugenicist, who was very popular among the Ku Klux Klan in the South, not just the South, in New Jersey, as a matter of fact. I wrote all about her. The Democrat Party hates America. But the point is, where does a federal judge get power to say, no, Congress and the president, you shall fund this group or that group? So this will be reversed. But the problem is, this is more of the same tactics by a million knives here. Appointed by Obama. Pretty grotesque, don't you think? Again, her name is Indira Talwani, Talwani, an Obama appointee. And of course, what did Obama and Biden do when it came to appointees? The most radical kooks they could find, including they run these different foundations and organizations, law professors and all the rest. And that's what they've done. And again, she's not the only one. But according to her, she's compelled, Congress and the president are compelled to fund Planned Parenthood. Man, it's pretty sickening. I don't know how many people in this audience are really worked up about this sort of the Epstein stuff. Apparently there is no list to make available, as I understand it. The FBI director, Kash Patel, the deputy director, Dan Bongino, the attorney general said, look, we investigated everything and this is the way it is. Some are calling for Pam Bondi's head. Some are saying that Kash and Dan have sold out. Let me just slow down here a little bit. I'm sure people are very upset, some, about all this. I've known Dan Bongino for a long, long time, as have you, Rich. He's not one to duck any of this stuff, is he? If they had the goods, they present them. He's the deputy director of the FBI. I know Kash Patel less well, but Kash Patel has never been afraid to take anything on. Why would he be afraid to take this on? And moreover, why would they deep six it if they had the information? Pam Bondi, I know her somewhat. I respect her. She was one of the attorneys who was involved in litigating 2020. She's not one to duck from any controversy or duck something like this either. So I'm not going to trash them, nor am I going to undermine them. And so, having worked at that Department of Justice, it's a big damn place. There's a lot of responsibilities. But I would also point out to you that sometimes things just don't work out the way we want them to work out. Now, what about Bondi saying she's going through the list now and so forth and so on? Well, she'll have to explain that. My guess is she was talking about, as Caroline Levitt said, the pile of information she had to go through, not necessarily a specific list of individuals. But she would have no reason to deep six it either. None of them would. That's where I'm coming from. You get to know people over time. She's a stand-up lady. Patel's a stand-up guy. Bongino's a stand-up guy. And so if all three of them and others who we trust, and the President of the United States who put out a true social statement, making clear that he has great faith in them and they've done a fantastic job. I'm here on the outskirts like everybody else, so I'm supposed to do what? Yell at them? So I'm not going to do that. I'll let others do it. I'm not going to do it because I don't get it. In other words, so what? So what if I do yell at them? And I'd feel very bad about it. Again, these are people that we all know. We all know these people. I don't mean personally. We all know these people and who they are. They're not going to do a cover up. But I can't even think. Why would they do a cover up, Mr. Producer? It makes no sense, right? If they had a list of all these Epstein clients and so forth, why would they cover it up? And by the way, how would you cover it up? In other words, that information is available to scores and scores of people at the FBI and the Department of Justice. Something would leak. Nothing's leaked. There hasn't been a leak. And that place leaks like a sieve. Take it from somebody who was chief of staff over there. They're not all allies over there. In fact, I'd say 80% of them are not, maybe worse. So if this stuff's being looked at by the FBI, it's being looked at by the criminal division, it's being looked at by other divisions, and then it goes up to the attorney general, to the deputy attorney general, and so forth. It goes through a lot of hands. And I suspect if they had some list of all the clients and all of this and that, they'd want to get it out. Why wouldn't they? Now, I know the left-wing media is having a blast with all this. I know that. People are upset. I see Alex Jones is having a nervous breakdown. Well, he always looks like he is. Not that he is. Don't get me wrong. That's just the way he looks. I saw a piece in the Blaze there, Mr. Producer, that was quoting Alex Jones yesterday. Was it the day before? About turtles or something? I couldn't remember what it was, but fascinating. So no, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon. Of course, the media is saying all the influencers are attacked. No, all the influencers are not. Some people are, some people are not. Be very skeptical of these entities like the Drudge Report or Mediocreite or these other. They want nothing but fights. They want nothing but National Enquirer type headlines. They want nothing but clicks and grift, and that's what they want. They don't actually do any news. They don't actually report anything. They just give their opinions and they change headlines and they move words around. That's all. And the more controversial they can be, the more they can stir the pot, or the more preposterous their headlines, the more money they make. So they're not a news organization. They're a profit-making entity. That's what they are. Profit-making entity. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625.
Hi, I'm Dorina, co-founder of OpenPhone. My dad is a business owner, and growing up, he always kept his ringtone super loud, so he'd never miss a customer call. OpenPhone gives your team business phone numbers to call and text, all in one shared workspace. And our AI agent answers 24/7, so you never miss a customer. Over 60,000 businesses use OpenPhone. Get 20% off at openphone.com/radio. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
I feel like taking a nap.
Today we help the
I'm going to take a break.
Take care of
I might go to bed
employees
early.
in a big way.
Seriously.
And whether your client's business
Fucking
has
hot
10
out.
employees
I gotta go
or
out, bring my
10,000,
table
The
in.
Hartford offers big employee benefits, from life insurance to disability, accident insurance, and more. We'll help you deliver.
I have no idea what you're saying, Justine. I read that and I'm
Your
just,
customer's business is just the right size for
it's
us.
like I'm too drunk to read it.
At thehartford.com.
The way to my heart is with the right business tools like QuickBooks. With features that help automate tasks like invoicing, I never have to start from scratch. Business growth is always on the menu. For a limited time, get 90% off QuickBooks Online, Advanced, and Payroll for 3 months. Terms and conditions.
I did unban everybody.
It's time to start
There
business.
ain't nobody banned.
LegalZoom is here to help. Whether you're registering as an LLC or keeping
Last call.
renewing the legal hand, turn to
I like
Legal
saying
Hand
that.
online
Last
legal services
call.
provider who's helped launch
Last
over
call. I
4
gotta go.
million businesses like yours. Visit LegalZoom.com because life is more legal than you think.
LegalZoom provides access to independent attorneys and self-service tools. LegalZoom is not a law firm and does not provide legal advice. Visit LegalZoom.com.
Banking has its perks. We make sure of it. Open an account with Community Bank.
Yeah, I'm going to take a break, Andy, and come back later.
Including higher rates on CDs, lower rates on personal loans, early pay up to 1 day sooner. You'll even get a free Greenlight subscription. Crush your financial goals and open the right account for you.
Did your friend find the information he was looking for?
.com/bankhappyperks to open your account today.
All right. I'll be back later.
Member FDIC.
I'll see you guys on the flip side.
You're being watched online. It's data brokers. They collect your personal info, your browsing habits.